In simple terms, we break it down. Complex stuff, we make it sound clear and easy for you and me. Billy Goattails and Dave Digital bring knowledge we share. In simple terms, we're everywhere. We love you, fam. Hashtag givers gain.
And welcome to the Simple Terms podcast. My name is Dave Digital. It sounds like I've got some echo. All right. Let's see here. Do I still have an echo? I might have it on a different. There we go. Right there. All right. Let's see. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I had all of that stuff all the way wide open. Welcome to the Simple Terms podcast. I am your host, Dave Digital. This is where we take complex topics and we break them down into simple terms. I see everybody in the audience. I appreciate you guys being here. Maybe that echo was just in my ear. I had the live stream playing on another screen while I was watching you guys on this screen. And I did see, to start things off, I saw Jesse in the chat, and Jesse became a member again. So I appreciate you, Jesse, for becoming a member. There it is right there. And I see Trade Intuition in the chat. Good to see you this morning, Trade Intuition. Joe has his own channel. He's been doing 9 o'clock in the evening Eastern Standard Time. He also once in a while he'll come back at the lunchtime break if he has a day off, and he'll do Crypto Coin Mindsets show. And I appreciate that show so much. And he's been walking on the treadmill. So if you want to learn to trade without the tuition, go and see Trade Intuition. Good morning to everyone. I see maybe a Band-Aid in the chat. He's saying it seems sus, and it definitely seems sus. I have to agree with you, sir. And I saw Curtis Hill in the chat. So good morning to all you guys. Let's take a look in on the Bitcoin. So I have been doing a little bit different style trading. So I mean, I don't know if you guys have had the same things happen to you guys. You know, if you are trying to become a serious trader and you would like for trading to replace your income, and if you've been trading like I've been trading off of the 1 hour chart, with the levels of money that I've been trading, I mean, it comes apparent pretty quick that you're gonna have to do a little bit faster trading. So you have to get into it, probably more with a style like Alex or Crypto does. So that's what I've been trying this week. I had only 3 days of trading, actually 2 and a little bit. The first day kind of wasn't that great. Let me see if I can even pull it up for you guys. It's gonna cooperate. Yeah, it's gonna cooperate. Cancel that. See if we can bring it up. Maybe not. Okay, we'll just let that go. Maybe I can bring it up for you guys later. But anyway, I had one good day. So the one good day, so I was just trading with just enough to where I feel something, but it's not very risky. So one day, I think it was negative $21. The next day was up $71 on about 6 trades. And then the next day I only took 1 trade, which was yesterday. And that was, I was thinking that up here, you guys can see right there. I was thinking that from here, Bitcoin was about to do a little reversal and head to the upside, and it absolutely went the other way. So, but that's what stop losses are for, and I haven't gotten into anything since then. I have some alerts set on the chart, so maybe we get to take one live on the show today. If everything allows. But you see down here, this is a golden pocket 618. It's also the value area low on the 3-minute chart. So if we can come and take that liquidity, I would be interested in the long. If not, I would like to take this high. If I'm doing this right, listen, this is not financial advice because I'm trying to learn, especially on a lower time frame, how to do it. So if we could come and take these highs, then I would probably be looking for a short. I think is how you do it. Now, if something happens and that short doesn't come out and you see strength, then we'll look for a retest and a go, right? Something like that. So that's how it is. Thanks, Trade Intuition. Well, I have a lot to talk about if we're going to talk about losses. But either way, that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. Zcash, we've been looking in on Zcash too. Zcash here looks, let's see, I like to bring that up on a higher time frame. I haven't been trading it on a low time frame. So we look at Zcash. I mean, on the 4-hour, money flow is still kind of thick. What is the 8-hour looking like? See if we, so we're getting some red dots on 8-hour, 4-hour, 16-hour red dot. Let's look over here. 1 hour money flow is starting to trend back out. So you could get a pullback on Zcash. Yeah, on the higher time frames, it's a little bit there. So on the higher time frames, on the 1 hour, take this low and probably even come down lower. So you're probably going to take that whole 618. Let's look at Zcash. See what that lines up with. Yeah, that lines up with that box there. Yep. So probably 360, 380-ish on Zcash. I mean, it's just, you just see, I mean, we just keep Bart Simpson. So we may do that again, come back up, and then come down. So we'll just have to take a look at it, keep our eyes on it. I do see Crypto Billy in the chat. Good to see you. All set. I see you in the chat. Good morning. Good morning. Maybe a Band-Aid. Mortimer Duke. Good morning to everybody. Good to see you all here. I guess you're not really here for me to talk about Bitcoin. Let's take one real quick look at Ondo. I am in a trade on Ondo. They had some news come out, and I thought that maybe that news would be good for Ondo since they're, I mean, so far down right now. You see. So being so far down, I went ahead and took a shot. Money flow on the daily doesn't look good though. So we'll just have to see what happens. But that's where my trade is on Ondo. All right. So this morning we're going to be talking about the liquid staking revolution. Oh, before I do that, I will show you guys what we released this week on Patreon. And Patreon has all levels and really even the family level up to this point. If you take advantage of the free membership, the 90-day membership, it's also free. So you can get all of this each week behind this, the safety of the paywall on Patreon, none of the restrictions that YouTube give us. But I am going to start releasing them anyway on YouTube. They're just going to be at a month delay. So what we do each week, this is the critique, and that's on this topic that we're doing today. That's stress testing the restaking revolution. All this comes right here to you in Patreon. Then you also get the debate. The debate is on the restaking, the same topic that we're going to talk about today. And the debate goes back and forth on 2 different ideas on that topic, on 2 different perspectives on that topic. Really cool to listen to. Then you get the explainer video, just a real short explainer video, real cool. Just kind of goes into what we're doing, kind of lets you prepare, lets you get your questions ready. You can even have the sources, as you see here. I released the sources that we built. And then, of course, I put those into NotebookLM with a new prompt, and we take that from there. And the brief. So we start off with the brief, just a little 3-minute video, tells you about the topic of the week. Opens up what's going on and lets you know. And then once I ship everything, I put out the weekly newsletter normally on Tuesday, and this will tell you what has been shipped, and then it'll also go into the topic, to where you can read about the topic. Okay, so it's a weekly newsletter. So really valuable over there in Patreon, and we do that for each one of the topics each week. But you will, no big deal. If you guys, for some reason, you just can't get over into Patreon in your head, there's a block going on that's too much for you. I understand. We do have the 90-day family pass available. Just go over and take advantage of it. The link is in the description. But we will start releasing these videos. All of them are going to be released on YouTube, they're just going to be a month delay. So let me see here. Alrighty, who else is joining the live? Let's see, Curtis, Poman, Jay Violet. Good morning, Jay Violet. For us, good evening for you. I think that's everybody that I said hi to. So let me load up today's guest on the liquid staking revolution. We'll bring up their position. Make sure everything looks good. I like this scene a little bit better. There we go. All right, and you guys know how it works. If you can hear these guys, then just put a 1 in the chat and we are going to get started. So I'll be paying attention. If you have questions, you remember how we do it. Just like last week, just put those questions into the chat. I'll star them as we go along, and then we'll get back to them close to the end. Of course, I'll ask questions throughout the way, but we have noticed that once in a while the AI can get a little stumped if we overwhelm them too much at the beginning. But this is exciting. Let's see what the restaking, it seems to be a real hot topic, restaking in the EigenLayer. I have no clue about any of it. I don't even know if EigenLayer is a coin, if it's an upgrade. I don't know any of that. So I didn't have time this week to actually digest any of the other assets. So I'm going to learn right along with you guys. So if you can hear it, just let me know. Okay.
Imagine one pile of your ETH working in 3 different places all at once and paying you multiple rewards for it. Well, that's restaking. And today we are unpacking all of the fine print. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're charting the landscape of what's being called the restaking revolution. And, this isn't just some niche upgrade for crypto developers.
Oh, not at all.
The sources we've reviewed show this is fundamentally reorganizing how security and trust are monetized in decentralized finance. It's a massive narrative for 2025, already clocking in with over, $18 billion in total value locked.
And growing fast, really fast.
Our mission today is to give you the complete picture. We're going to chart the entire progression, starting with the limitations of basic proof of stake, moving through the flexibility of liquid staking tokens, and then into the profound complexity of EigenLayer's restaking framework and its actively validated services.
And finally, we'll get to the cutting edge, which is liquid restaking tokens, or LRTs.
Exactly. And along the way, we are macking out those stacked yield streams, where all this extra capital efficiency comes from. But perhaps most critically, we are clarifying the technical, the economic, and the systemic risks that are accumulating as this financial stack gets taller and taller. Before we jump into the sources, just a couple of quick things. You can always catch our Simple Terms live show every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Always a good time.
And if you want more content about this world, you know where to find us. Billy Goat Tales Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST on Xspace and Sundays at 5 p.m. EST on YouTube. So we still have a few free family tier spots open for our Patreon community. So check the link in the description if you want to join our inner circle for more deep dives, exclusive risk analysis, and the interactive notebook for this specific episode. A warm welcome to everyone watching live and those of you catching the replay. Do us a favor, drop your city plus a goat emoji in the chat so we know where you're tuning in from.
We love seeing that global community pop
Drop
up.
those goat
We
emojis.
really do. And remember, this entire discussion is
Whoa,
strictly
I
educational.
just lost my screen.
We're here to understand the technology, the crypto economics, and all the risks
Uh-oh.
involved. So please, this is absolutely not financial advice. We're your guides
there it is.
through the source material, and that's it.
That's right. And to really, truly grasp restaking, we have to.
Oh, wait, someone wants to join. Hey, go for it.
Good morning. It's Dave Digital. Of course, I'm the host of the Simple Terms podcast right here on the Billy Goat Tales Network. And I appreciate you guys. We are live here on YouTube and on X this morning. So I want you to say hi to our live chat. We have Jesse Luck in the chat. We have Crypto Billy, the founder of Billy Goat Tales, in the chat. We also have Curtis Hill in the chat. We have Trade Intuition. That's Joe from Trade Intuition, where you can learn to trade without the tuition. We have maybe a Band-Aid saying that it seems sus, is what he's telling me. We have Poman 13. We also have All Set Miner, or All Set Analyst, it looks like is his new name. Mortimer Duke is in the chat. And I think we have Jay Violet also in the chat. And I think I may be missing somebody, but I'd like for you to say good morning to all of those folks and then get started right where you left off. It's great to be here this morning.
Good morning, Dave Digital. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Welcome, and huge shout out to the whole Billy Goat Tales community
We see you, Jesse Olick.
and Crypto Billy, of course.
Hello to Curtis Hill and Joe from Traded Tuition.
That's a great concept, Joe. Learn to trade without the tuition.
And we appreciate maybe a Band-Aid, Holman 13.
Welcome, Mortimer Duke, the All Set Analyst, and Jay Violet.
It is fantastic to have all of you with us for this deep dive.
It's why we do this live, for this interactive energy.
So we were just about to dive into the foundation of this revolution.
Right, how proof of stake set the stage for liquid staking tokens and beyond,
To really truly grasp restaking, we have to start at the very foundation.
which is Ethereum's consensus mechanism, proof of stake.
If you don't understand basic ETH staking, the rest of this is just going to make no sense at all.
All right, let's start there then. Segment 1, the foundations.
Okay, let's unpack this foundation.
Since the big merge back in 2022, Ethereum has been using proof of stake, or POS, to secure itself.
The underlying mechanics are, at a high level, pretty simple.
Right.
An entity, if we call a validator, locks up collateral.
That's a minimum of 32 ETH into the beacon chain deposit contract.
And the validator to act as the honest bookkeepers for the network.
They run software that performs two essential duties.
They propose new blocks of transactions, and they attest to the validity of blocks proposed by others
Okay, so they're checking each other's work constantly.
constantly. And in return for locking up all that expensive capital and running the node, validators are guaranteed native rewards.
And where do those rewards come from?
They're sourced from new ETH being issued inflation and from the transaction fees and tips that users pay.
And critically, this is securing the network through a capital commitment.
It's an economic guarantee.
Right, an economic guarantee.
It is, but that economic guarantee has to have teeth. It's enforced by some pretty severe penalties. This process is known as slashing.
Slashing. Sounds painful.
It can be. If a validator acts maliciously, say they try to double sign, they lose a large portion of their staked 32 ETH.
And it's not just for malicious stuff. You can get penalized for just messing up.
Yes, exactly. They can also be penalized, though less severely, for operational failures. Things like frequently going offline or incorrectly attesting to blocks.
So the network security relies on the cost of an attack being way higher than any potential profit from it.
This raises a really important question that the sources highlight.
What are the actual economic security thresholds we need to watch? It's not just about a simple 51% attack.
It is. Our sources point out 3 critical thresholds that really govern Ethereum's stability.
If an attacker can control just 33% of all the staked ETH on the network, they can delay what's called finality.
And finality is basically the moment a transaction is officially set in stone, irreversible.
Precisely. Delaying that breaks user trust in the network's reliability. It's a serious attack.
And if they manage to gather just a little bit more, say 34%, it gets even worse.
Much worse. Controlling 34% can cause what's called a double finality.
This is a catastrophic event. It leads to a permanent chain split, creating 2 conflicting, irreversible versions of Ethereum.
Now, this scenario would trigger the absolute highest level of slashing penalties, but the damage would be done.
And then, of course, the theoretical worst case, 51% control.
At 51%, you have transaction censorship, the ability to manipulate transaction order and ultimately control over the blockchain's future state.
The key takeaway for you, the listener, is that staking isn't just passive yield farming.
It's an active, required defense mechanism for Ethereum.
Okay, so plain staking is fundamental to the security model.
But for the average crypto user, it had 2 massive problems that quickly became unacceptable.
This friction is really what led to all the innovation we're about to talk about. The initial design of proof of stake, you're right, it created 2 major pain points.
First and foremost was illiquidity.
When you commit that 32 ETH, oh yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, that was a great introduction. So we had just a couple more people join the chat. I would like to say good morning to them. We had Keith from Crypto Coin Mindset join the chat. I really appreciate him. He's one of the family members. We had French Toaster join the chat, who we affectionately call Toasty. And we had Mike Wolmer, who is known as the Mod King, has also joined the chat. So I want you to say hi to those folks. And I want you to also remind them, not in a spammy way, but in a friendly way, as a prompt to go ahead and share this out on X if you have an X account. That really helps us out a lot. If you're in Discord, I appreciate a share in your Discord. And I appreciate if you have group chats that are going on with other crypto people that you share this there. And then I want you to go on right where you left off and don't miss a beat.
Good morning, Keith from Crypto Coin Mindset. We appreciate you.
Welcome, Toasty, and hello to the Mod King, Mike Wilmar.
It is fantastic to have the whole crew here with us this morning.
And thank you for the prompt about sharing. That helps us immensely.
If you're enjoying this, a quick share on X or in your Discord helps us reach more curious minds.
We truly appreciate that collective energy.
Now, picking up right where we left off, we were discussing the two major pain points of plain staking.
Right. And the first one was that massive friction of illiquidity.
When you commit that 32 ETH, your capital is locked. It's just sitting there.
It was dormant collateral that couldn't be traded, couldn't be borrowed against, or used for anything.
And the second big issue was the prohibitive barrier to entry.
It was prohibitive. 32 ETH is a colossal amount of capital for most people.
But even beyond that, you need the technical skill, the specialized hardware, and continuous management.
All that is required to avoid operational slashing risks
It really sounds like staking was designed primarily for institutional players.
or dedicated crypto enthusiasts with really deep pockets. Yeah.
Precisely. And if the whole point of decentralized finance is about capital efficiency,
Well, locking up billions of dollars in dormant collateral is the exact opposite of that goal.
so the need for flexibility, lower barriers, and better capital efficiency just became overwhelming.
How did the space solve that illiquidity problem and get us to the next step, liquid staking?
Liquid staking is such an elegant solution that was born directly from that frustration.
Here's the core concept in simple terms.
Instead of you staking 32 ETH yourself and locking it up, you deposit any amount of ETH into a liquid staking protocol.
We call these LSPs, right? And that protocol basically does all the heavy lifting for you.
It aggregates everyone's deposits, it handles the staking, the validator management,
And in return, you receive a tradable interest-bearing receipt token.
and that token is called a liquid staking token, or LST.
That receipt token is the real innovation here, isn't it?
It is. It represents your ownership of the underlying staked ETH.
Plus your proportionate share of all the staking rewards that have accumulated over time.
LSTs are just incredibly powerful assets in DeFi because they combine two things that plain staking kept separate: yield and liquidity.
They have 4 crucial functions. They're interest-bearing.
So their value grows over time.
They're transferable. You can sell them on an exchange instantly.
They're redeemable, and most importantly for DeFi, they are highly composable.
And that composability is the engine that just poured fuel on the fire of DeFi growth.
Once you have a liquid yield-bearing token, you can immediately go and use it as collateral in a lending market.
Or plug it into a liquidity pool.
The impact was huge. The scale of this market segment is almost unbelievable.
By late 2025, the sources we looked at indicate that ETH LSTs accounted for about 14.3 million ETH staked.
That's over $44 billion in capital. It's massive.
This size makes liquid staking a systemically important sector.
Protocols like Lido are consistently the largest DeFi protocol by total value locked.
Now, to understand how these tokens work under the hood, we have to look at their taxonomy.
Specifically, how they handle distributing the rewards.
The sources highlight 2 dominant models.
Okay, let's break those down. First, you've got rebase tokens.
The most famous example is probably Mito's original stETH.
These tokens, they try to maintain a one-to-one peg with ETH.
Right, but the rewards have to go somewhere.
So instead of the token's price appreciating, the rewards are distributed by periodically increasing the token balance in your wallet.
So if I had 100 stETH, after a week, I might just suddenly see 100.01 stETH in my wallet.
Exactly. The number of tokens you hold goes up.
Now, the second
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, so now we're talking about liquid staking tokens, and I think you mentioned one. I think you mentioned the Lido or LDO. I'm not sure if that's what you meant. And then you started talking about stETH. Are these staked ETH is what you're talking about, or is it stETH what you're saying? Please clarify so that we understand, and our listening audience also understands.
That is a great clarification question.
Thank you for keeping us honest on the pronunciation.
You are absolutely right that this space has a lot of confusing acronyms.
So we mentioned Lido, which is LIDO,
Lido is the dominant liquid staking protocol, the LSP,
and its governance token is LDO.
and its main liquid staking token, the receipt token, is stETH.
That is pronounced stETH, short for staked ETH.
So that's STETH.
We probably weren't as clear as we should have been on that.
And you're right, our sources refer to it frequently.
We did mention stETH as a rebase token.
It maintains that one-to-one peg with ETH.
But the number of tokens you hold, that grows as rewards accumulate.
Now, we were just about to talk about Lido's other token.
The one that's used for the reward-bearing model,
Yes, that's another one for the acronym list.
it's called WAI, WSTETH.
And the W stands for wrapped.
It's the wrapped version of the original stETH.
And that one operates slightly differently.
That's right, it's the more DeFi compatible one.
Now let's look at that second model, the reward-bearing token.
Yep, go on.
I definitely don't want you to lose your place, but it does get a little bit confusing. So originally we took our ETH, we staked our ETH on Lido, and now we're getting and that was called staked ETH, right? It created a new token called staked ETH. And now we get another token for rewards that is wrapping that staked ETH called wrapped staked ETH. Is that correct?
Not losing our place at all. This is an important distinction.
Yeah, that process of wrapping is the source of the confusion.
You are absolutely right that you start by depositing ETH into Lido.
And in return, you receive stETH, or staked ETH.
That stETH is the token that automatically grows in your wallet as rewards accrue. It is the rebase token.
Now, when we talk about rETH, the wrapped stETH, that's a different token.
Risk or wrapped stETH is simply a version that does not rebase.
Instead of the number of tokens increasing in your wallet,
The value of each risk token appreciates relative to ETH over time.
it's the same underlying staked ETH, just represented by a different type of receipt token.
And this reward-bearing approach is why stETH is the one that's preferred in most DeFi applications.
You don't get the rewards by getting another token.
You just get a token, Roosty, that gets more valuable compared to ETH.
So it's not a second token for rewards.
It's a conversion from a constantly updating token to a value appreciating one.
It makes the accounting much simpler for lending protocols.
Okay, let's look at that second model now, the reward-bearing token.
We'll use Roosty and Rocket Pool's rETH as examples.
In that model, your token balance doesn't change,
You'll always have the same number of tokens.
but the token's intrinsic value continuously accrues relative to ETH.
The actual exchange ratio shifts.
So one rETH might start out being worth 1.00 ETH.
And after 6 months, it's worth 1.05 ETH.
And this value appreciation is why it's more DeFi friendly,
This model is generally preferred by DeFi lending protocols.
because it really simplifies all the accounting and risk modeling
It's much easier to track a single appreciating asset price.
than it is to deal with constantly updating balances across thousands of user accounts.
The architecture supporting all this flexibility, these LSPs, it sounds complex.
They are managing huge staking pools, right?
They're selecting or operating the node operators running the actual validators, and they're relying heavily on Oracle networks.
Those oracles are critical.
They have to ensure that the real-time state of the Ethereum beacon chain is accurately reflected on the execution layer where the LSTs are actually trading.
And here we hit the first major critique of LSTs, which is centralization risk.
Specifically through the node operator model, we see two different paths emerging here.
We do. First, there's the permission model, which is dominated by Lido.
They select a pretty small set of professional node operators,
Lido uses around 29, and they whitelist them through a DAO vote.
but the trade-off is this massive concentration.
Lido's huge market share of all stake ETH raises some pretty major concerns.
If a failure occurred among just those 29 operators, or if they were somehow coordinated, it could present an existential threat to Ethereum's security.
It absolutely could. So the alternative is the permissionless model, which is exemplified by protocols like Rocket Pool or Stater.
These protocols try to encourage decentralization by lowering the entry barrier for running an operator.
How much lower is that barrier?
A lot lower. Rocket Pool, for example, only requires operators to post 8 ETH of their own collateral.
And Stater even less, around 4 ETH.
This is a dramatic reduction from the 32 ETH minimum required for plain staking. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Great. You guys are doing a great job of explaining this. I definitely get a little bit behind it. I have questions in the real world usage. So let's say hypothetically, I know a person named Jimmy, we'll just name him, and he has 32 ETH. Is Jimmy better off to stake those ETH and run a validator? Or is Jimmy better off to go with these liquid staking protocols and stake less ETH in several different ones and make a better gain that way? What should Jimmy do hypothetically?
That is a phenomenal real world question.
And it perfectly frames the fundamental trade-off.
We have to stress, of course, this is not financial advice for your hypothetical friend, Jimmy.
Right, but we can analyze the two paths purely based on the source data and the risk profiles we've discussed.
Let's call them Path I, Solo Validator, and Path B, Liquid Risk Staking.
If Jimmy chooses path A, staking his full 32 ETH directly on Ethereum,
He gets the maximum native rewards, which are currently around 3% annually.
he retains full custody of his ETH.
But the trade-off is huge, illiquidity for his capital.
And he takes on all the operational risk and the technical burden of running a secure node 247.
Any mistake means he gets slashed, and he needs significant technical skill.
Now, path B, going the liquid restaking route, is very different.
Jimmy could deposit his 32 ETH into an LRT protocol like ether.fi.
You receive an LRT back, like ETH.
That LRT is instantly liquid and composable in DeFi.
This is where the yield stack comes in.
Jimmy would earn his base staking yield, plus restaking rewards from AVSs, plus any DeFi yields he gets from deploying the LRT.
Our sources suggest this layered yield can currently reach up to 6 to 8% in bull markets.
maybe even higher with speculative point systems.
So Path B offers much higher potential yield and immediate liquidity.
But it comes with a complete multiplication of risk.
Jimmy is exposed to smart contract risk across 5 layers, depeg risk of the LRT, and correlated slashing risk from AVS failures.
So the hypothetical choice boils down to risk, tolerance, and technical skill.
If Jimmy wants simplicity, maximum security, and low risk, he goes Path A.
If he wants maximum yield, full liquidity, and is willing to accept significantly higher, complex, and correlated risk.
Then he chooses Path B. It's a risk marketplace, and the higher yield is the premium for taking on all those stacked risks.
Hopefully that provides a clearer breakdown for your friend Jimmy.
Now, back to our comparison of staking models.
We were looking at the dramatic reduction in collateral required for the permissionless model.
Stake.
So Rocket Pool has thousands of operators compared to Lido's couple of dozen.
We were discussing how the barrier is lowered.
Wait, hold on. If the bar for being a validator is lowered from 32 ETH all the way down to just 4 ETH through one of these. Hey, yeah, what's up?
I definitely want you guys to keep your spot where you're talking about the barrier being lowered. But I want you to say hi to Tex-Mex Biomex. He just joined the chat. He's also on the Billy Goat Tales team. He's one of our great creators. But the way that we say hi to Tex-Mex is we say Tex-Mex Biomex. Boom, 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 boom.
That's a great tradition. Tex-Mex Biomex, boom, boom.
The deep dive. We love the energy.
And thank you for keeping us. Oh, go for it.
Yep, just keep on going. So we want you to go back right where you left off, where you were talking about the area, but the barrier to entry has been lowered.
Keeping us right on track.
Absolutely. No problem at all.
We were just about to connect the lowering of that operator barrier to entry to systemic security risk.
Right. We were looking at how protocols like Rocket Pool and Stater drop the collateral requirements for operators.
Rocket Pool's down to 8 ETH.
And Stater even less, around 4 ETH.
This is a dramatic drop from the standard 32 ETH minimum.
We were just questioning the implications of this.
If the bar for running a validator is lowered from 32 ETH all the way down to just 4 ETH through one of these protocols.
Doesn't that inherently reduce the cost for an attacker who wants to compromise, say, 34% of the network?
It does. It is a central security debate in this space, as our sources confirm.
While the permissionless body is great for decentralization, the sources confirm that if an attacker leverages these lower collateral entry points,
the actual capital required to hit those catastrophic attack thresholds for Ethereum is significantly reduced.
So it's an efficiency trade-off with some serious security implications.
So we've solved the barrier to entry and illiquidity, but now we've created a new problem,
which is the need to trust the value of the underlying token itself.
If these LST receipt tokens are being used as collateral all across DeFi, how do we trust their value?
That brings us to depeg risk.
The value of a LST is always in this sort of battle between two forces.
You have the market price.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to keep your space, but did you say depeg?
That's a great catch.
Yes, you heard that directly. We said depeg.
And thank you for keeping us right on topic.
Depeg risk is central to understanding liquid staking.
It's the risk that the liquid staking token, the LST, loses its intended one-to-one value ratio with the underlying ETH.
You see, the LST is supposed to perfectly track the value of the staked ETH in the protocol.
But the reality is that the market price, the one you see on a decentralized exchange,
that price can temporarily diverge from the protocol value.
And the protocol value is the verifiable fair value.
Right, based on the staked ETH in the reserves plus all the rewards.
Exactly. And the mechanism that's supposed to keep those two prices tethered is arbitrage.
So if a token like stETH is trading at, say, 98 cents for every dollar of ETH,
an arbitrageur can instantly buy that undervalued stETH.
They swap it back at the protocol for the full dollar's worth of ETH and pocket that 2% profit.
Right, and that buying pressure pushes the market price back up towards the peg.
The reverse happens if the LST is overpriced.
But what's fascinating here is that these discrepancies persist.
Especially during times of severe market stress, as our sources highlight.
We saw this dramatically during the collapses of Terra and FTX back in 2022.
For instance, stETH traded at a pretty noticeable discount for a long time, when the market was gripped by fear.
And before the Shanghai upgrade, when unstaking was impossible, arbitrageurs couldn't always correct those discounts quickly.
And sometimes, counterintuitively, LSTs can even be overpriced.
They absolutely can. After the FTX collapse, decentralized LSTs like rETH were actually temporarily overpriced.
We saw this because the market developed this intense aversion to anything that felt centralized.
Users were literally willing to pay a premium for a token that was backed by a permissionless protocol.
So the major takeaway from liquid staking is we successfully turned locked ETH into productive liquid capital that's usable in DeFi.
But the natural question that arose next was one of optimization, which is key to restaking.
If one pile of ETH can secure Ethereum and earn yield in DeFi, why can't it secure a third thing at the same time?
That question didn't just lead us to EigenLayer, it led to a whole new economic understanding of trust itself.
Exactly. The leap from LSTs to restaking is, I think, conceptually the biggest shift we're going to cover today.
It's the innovation that fundamentally changes how we think about crypto economic security.
I agree. The core economic insight here is that EigenLayer is transforming Ethereum security into an instantly rentable commodity.
Restaking is the mechanism for reusing that crypto economic security.
Okay, let's walk us through the mechanics as simply as possible.
You take your existing staked ETH native ETH or an LST and you pledge it again as collateral.
This time, it's to secure additional middleware and infrastructure.
You opt in by granting the EigenLayer smart contracts the ability to impose a second, completely separate set of additional slashing conditions on that capital.
So you are volunteering your capital for increased risk in exchange for a potentially much higher reward stack.
Precisely. This is the layered yield we mentioned earlier when discussing your hypothetical friend Jimmy.
And the underlying motivation for creating this whole system was to solve a massive systemic problem.
Known as fragmented trust networks.
Can you elaborate on that? What was that original problem?
Before EigenLayer, every single decentralized application that needed its own specialized infrastructure had to bootstrap its own dedicated security system from scratch.
That seems incredibly expensive and inefficient.
It was, and it led to this critical security flaw.
A dApp that relies on 5 different services was only as secure as its weakest link.
The cost of corruption, or KAMA-C for a malicious actor, was the minimum cost required to break just one of those dependencies.
So even if Ethereum had, say, $40 billion in stake, if the bridge you were using only had $500 million securing it.
The attacker only needed to spend 500 million.
Exactly. So if the sources are correct, EigenLayer facilitates what's called pooled security.
And this completely changes the economics of attacking the system. How so?
It's a game changer. By aggregating all that restaked capital, EigenLayer massively increases the required cost of attack for any service leveraging it.
If an attacker wants to corrupt a dApp, they now have to break the combined security of all those services.
The cost of corruption shifts from the minimum of the individual stakes to the sum of the total restake capital securing all those services. Yeah.
Man, you guys are doing so good and definitely keeping your spot, and I appreciate that. I know you still have a lot to cover. But so coming into this, I didn't know what EigenLayer was. So EigenLayer is not a token, it's not any kind of asset. It's an upgrade on ETH, is that right? Or is it an upgrade outside of ETH? Can you explain it a little deeper for me so I can understand EigenLayer?
That is a critical question.
Thank you for asking for that clarification.
Okay, let's unpack this core idea of EigenLayer.
You are correct. It is not a token or an asset in itself.
EigenLayer is best understood as a set of smart contracts.
They live right on the Ethereum blockchain. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you were saying EigenLayer, you were explaining it to me that EigenLayer is a set of smart contracts that lives on the blockchain. You were going to explain what EigenLayer is to me, and then you were going to continue right where you left off.
Oh, yeah,
Are you guys still there? Hello? Hello, are you still there? There are a couple things I wanted you guys to do too. So I'm not able to hear you anymore. So I hope that you guys are still there. But I want you to say hi to JR in the chat and Chris Klein in the chat. And then I want you to keep explaining EigenLayer and then continue where you left off. Uh-oh. Looks like they quit on me. So we'll do this. What's the deal here? We'll do it like this. Well, looks like they have crapped out on us for today, right in the middle of EigenLayer. So let's see if we can get them back up. Try this a couple different ways.
ETH, working in 3 different.
Okay, that was working. Get it back on over here.
Oh, wait, someone wants to join. Hey, go for it.
Yeah, are you guys still there? We had a show going and it looked like you glitched and stopped talking, and I haven't heard you respond anymore. Are you guys still there?
That is a great question.
We apologize for that.
Yes, we are definitely still here.
Sometimes when we start streaming a deep dive this intense, the connection just gets a little unstable.
But we are locked in and ready to go.
We are so glad you chimed in.
We were just setting the stake.
They were about to dive into the core.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
Yeah, so where we were, and I want you to pick up here, you were explaining to me what EigenLayer was. My question was, so it's not an asset and it's not a token. And then your answer was, no, it's smart contracts on the ETH layer or on ETH that does, you were about to explain what EigenLayer does, because I don't have a full understanding of it. And then you were going to also say hi to JR, who has joined our live chat, and Chris Klein, who has also joined us. And then you were going to continue where you left off.
Wow, that is an incredible memory.
You were paying attention.
You just gave us the perfect recap.
Thank you for walking us right back to where we left off.
We apologize for that glitch again.
And you are 100% correct.
We had just confirmed that EigenLayer itself is not an asset or a token.
It is a set of smart contracts deployed on Ethereum.
And what those smart contracts do is they allow existing ETH stakers.
People who already have their 32 ETH locked up to secure the main chain.
They can opt in to validate new software modules built on top of Ethereum.
What's fascinating here is that the staker grants the EigenLayer smart contracts the power
to impose additional slashing conditions on that already staked ETH.
So in simple terms, it's a mechanism for reusing your capital commitment.
You reuse your security clegs, but you earn extra fees for the service.
This creates a restaking collective where the security is aggregated.
It's turning Ethereum's trust into a commodity you can rent out.
And yes, we absolutely want to say hello to JR and Chris Klein.
Thank you so much for joining us in the live chat.
We love having you both here.
Please chime in with your questions or any thoughts you have.
Okay, let's pick up the momentum where we left off.
We were about to dive into the core concept of restaking.
Imagine one pile of your ETH working in 3 different places.
All at once, paying you multiple rewards for it.
That's the restaking concept we are unpacking.
So welcome back to the deep dive.
We're charting this restaking revolution landscape.
Our sources show this is fundamentally reorganizing security.
It is a massive narrative for 2025.
It's already clocking in with over $18 billion in total value locked.
And growing really fast.
Our mission today is to give you the complete picture.
We're charting the progression from basic proof of stake,
moving through the flexibility of liquid staking tokens,
and then into the specific mechanics of EigenLayer's restaking framework.
plus the crucial actively validated services.
We'll end with liquid restaking tokens, or LRTs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's just go right into the second or the last two, the liquid restaking tokens and the one right before that. Let's skip over everything before that. How does that sound?
That sounds fantastic, and we can absolutely do that.
That's why we stream live. We are completely flexible.
Okay, let's unpack this shift in focus then.
You want to jump straight into restaking and liquid restaking tokens.
That means we'll focus on EigenLayer, AVSs, and LRTs.
We can skip the foundational segments on plain staking and LSTs for now.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Yes, and why you're going to do those, why you're going to start from there, I appreciate that. But I also want you to take into consideration, we have Chris Klein in the chat, and he says that staking is something that he really, really wants to get into. So I want you to keep in mind what he wants, and I want you to keep in mind maybe give him a guideline of what's the most direct path or most profitable path, what's the safest path. But first, let's go ahead and get in right where you left off. Talk about the EigenLayer, and then talk about the liquid restaking tokens.
Thank you so much for that input. That is incredibly helpful.
And thank you for giving us a direct focus.
We absolutely heard Chris Klein in the chat.
We want to make sure he gets the information he needs.
Okay, let's tailor the next segment for Chris's goal.
Getting into restaking can seem complex at first.
We can structure the rest of our discussion around the paths available.
We'll talk about the 3 main considerations: direct, profitable, and safest path.
To quickly address the most direct path, that would be using a liquid restaking protocol.
That's the one that issues the ORT like Ether.I or Renzo.
These protocols simplify the process significantly.
They handle the delegation to operators and AVS selection for you.
Now, for the most profitable or the safest path, that gets a little more nuanced.
Profitability often means taking on more risk.
For example, the direct path is often the most profitable because you can deploy the LRT again in DeFi.
This creates layered yields, which is capital efficiency cubed.
But that path also has the highest smart contract and leverage risk.
The safest path, while still risky, Might be sticking to protocols with non-custodial design like Ether.io.
Or focusing on platforms that eliminate slashing risk, like Puffer Finance claims to.
We will explore those trade-offs as we talk through the mechanics of EigenLayer and LRTs.
You got it. We are starting exactly where we left off with the core EigenLayer mechanic.
Now, that's a huge time saver if you've already got those basics down.
Here's where it gets really interesting anyway.
The leap to restaking is the biggest shift we're going to cover today.
It fundamentally changes how we think about crypto economic security.
I agree. The core economic insight is that EigenLayer is transforming Ethereum security into an instantly rentable commodity.
Restaking is the mechanism for reusing that crypto economic security.
Okay, walk us through the mechanics as simple as possible for Chris.
You take your existing staked ETH or LST.
And you pledge it again as collateral.
This time, it's to secure additional middleware and infrastructure.
You opt in by granting the EigenLayer smart contracts the ability to impose a second, completely separate set of additional slashing conditions.
And that really is the core mechanic.
It's genius in its simplicity.
This is where we introduce the AVS.
The actively validated services.
They are the third thing that ETH is now securing.
AVSs are any blockchain-based system that needs robust security.
But they don't want to bootstrap their own decentralized network.
They rent the security from the massive pool of restaked ETH.
This radically lowers the barrier to entry for new Web3 projects.
It's a game changer for new protocols.
The EigenLayer white paper talks about the bootstrapping problem,
That new protocols usually have to issue their own native token just for security.
which creates immediate sell pressure and regulatory issues.
With restaking, they avoid that.
So what kinds of services are we talking about here?
The use cases are broad and exciting.
Think oracles, data availability layers like EigenDAV.
Or bridges, rollups, and even new virtual machines.
These are services Ethereum needs but can't support natively.
One high-impact example is event-driven activation for DeFi.
That means prompt execution for things like liquidations.
EigenLayer AVSs can guarantee inclusion of these actions.
Improving the efficiency and resilience of the entire DeFi. Hey, yeah, what's up?
I don't want you to lose your place, and I probably have a silly question here, but you said prompt execution. And by that, do you mean prompt as in fast or prompt execution as in prompt for an AI model, like a good prompt execution? Explain that again.
That is not a silly question at all.
That is a fantastic clarification question.
Okay, let's unpack this term prompt execution.
In that context, we definitely mean prompt, as in fast or immediate.
We're talking about guaranteed quick execution of a task.
Think of it like this. Certain DeFi functions, like liquidating a bad loan,
They need to happen immediately when a trigger condition is met.
if the liquidation is delayed, the platform loses money.
A non-restake system might have high latency.
But an EigenLayer actively validated service, an AVS,
It can guarantee that those actions will be included quickly.
so it's prompt as in speedy and guaranteed. It improves the efficiency and resilience of the entire DeFi ecosystem.
Now, to your other point about AI prompts,
That's actually a great connection too.
because some AVSs are designed specifically to support AI agents.
They need secure, decentralized execution for their tasks.
These verifiable AI agents are part of the AVS vision.
But when we said prompt execution just now, we meant speed.
We were talking about rapid liquidation and guaranteed inclusion.
We can now continue with the AVS examples where we left off.
The faster confirmations are what make this so powerful.
Another big one is the hyperscale data availability layer.
Ethereum struggles with scaling due to limited data availability
An AVS could combine restaking with concepts like dank sharding.
and create a high-performance, cost-efficient data layer.
This will help both Ethereum and all the layer 2 solutions scale massively,
It also enables fast mode bridges for rollups.
speeding up confirmation times for ZK and optimistic rollups.
So AVSs are the demand side of the security market.
They pay fees to restakers for providing that security.
And the restakers on the supply side are the validators who opt in.
It creates a free market for decentralized trust.
Okay, so let's break down the 4 key players in this new architecture.
First, we have the restakers, like Chris Klein wants to be.
They are the individuals who deposit ETH or LSTs into EigenLayer.
Next are the operators.
These guys run the specialized node software for the AVS,
They receive delegated stakes from restakers and perform validation tasks.
and they earn rewards for their service, taking a cut.
Then you have the actively validated services, the AVSs themselves.
These are the decentralized services benefiting from that pooled security.
Finally, the AVS users.
The end users are applications that interact with the AVS system.
It is a 4-party dynamic ecosystem.
It sounds like an extremely clever way to reuse capital.
It is capital efficiency maxed out.
The marginal capital cost for an ETH staker to opt in is minimal.
They're using the same capital, earning new revenue streams.
But this reuse of collateral comes with a layered risk profile.
We have to talk about the added risk of restaking.
If you're pledging your ETH to a second protocol,
You are subject to a second set of slashing conditions.
and what if that second protocol, the AVS, has a bug?
The risk of malicious slashing or bugs is very real.
That's why EigenLayer has a system of checks and balances.
They have a governance veto committee,
It's a reputation-based committee of experts.
and their job is to review and veto any unjustified slashing events.
It acts as training wheels for new AVSs.
It gives restakers some assurance against inaccurate slashing.
But the delegation model itself adds risk for the restaker.
If a restaker delegates their stake to an operator,
And that operator messes up or acts maliciously for the AVS.
restaker's entire deposit will be subject to slashing too.
So delegators must choose their operators wisely for the safest path.
They need to find operators with a great track record.
This free market of delegation organically gives rise to competition.
Operators will compete by offering better commission splits to the delegators.
It creates a dynamic fee model.
Okay, we've covered restaking.
The next evolution is liquid restaking tokens, or LRTs.
This is the most direct path for entry, as we mentioned to Chris.
This is where we stack the yields one layer higher.
Liquid restaking protocols are built on top of EigenLayer.
Protocols like Ether.efi, Renzo, or Puffer.
You deposit your LST into the liquid restaking protocol.
That protocol then handles staking into EigenLayer and the AVSs for you.
In return, you receive the liquid restaking token, the LRT.
Now your asset stack is 3 layers tall,
You have the base ETH staking yield,
plus the LST protocol incentives,
and now the new EigenLayer restaking rewards.
all represented by a single liquid tradable token, the LRT.
And this LRT can be deployed again in DeFi.
This yield stacking is why it can be the most profitable route.
It's capital efficiency cubed.
This is why the LRT market exploded so quickly.
Ether.fi, for example, had over $7 billion in TVL. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, keep your place when you're going to talk about LRTs exploding. But it seems like we're just using the same money over and over and over again. Is that sustainable?
That is the absolute best question you could ask right now.
Yeah, that is not an interruption at all.
You have hit on the core tension of this entire system.
We were just about to talk about this massive growth.
And you are correct. It is the reuse of capital.
One ETH is securing multiple services and generating multi-layer rewards.
This concept is often called rehypothecation by critics.
It evokes the complex layering of risk from the 2008 financial crisis.
Critics ask if stacking financial risk is sustainable.
Because if the base layer of security fails,
That risk could cascade across every linked protocol.
the sustainability really hinges on AVS adoption.
Yields ultimately must come from AVSs paying for security.
Not just from temporary token incentives or speculative points.
We saw a frenzy in 2024 driven by speculative points.
But 2025 is shifting to real revenue models.
The sustainability depends on AVS being valuable.
And the market paying for the security they provide.
The key concern is the systemic concentration.
That a large portion of Ethereum's security relies on a few LRTs.
If a major LRT breaks its peg or is slashed,
The cascading effect across DeFi could be significant.
this is why the concentration of risk is so highly debated.
Now let's circle back to where we left off, right, with the TVL numbers.
We were saying that Ether.fi had over $7
billion in TVL by mid-2025.
This system is a massive driver of growth.
But your question about sustainability is vital.
It raises systemically important questions about risk.
If the underlying security mechanism fails at any layer,
The risk could ripple through the entire DeFi ecosystem.
especially since the base layer, liquid staking, is so large.
There's an ongoing debate in the community
How much of Ethereum's security should rely on these restaking layers?
versus enshrining features directly into the core protocol.
It's a philosophical question about where the risk.
Oh, go for it.
Definitely keep your place, but I'm getting a little confused. So I thought that the whole purpose of the staking was, or whenever they came up with the EigenLayer, according to the way I understand it, is so that that helps to, or the people that are building on it are using the EigenLayer to help secure them using ETH's secure protocols. And now you're saying that, if I'm understanding right, as we make a couple jumps in the staking and we put that ETH and restaked it, now that's starting to secure back the ETH layer. So ETH is securing these, and then now they're securing ETH. Am I understanding that right? This sounds like a weird loop.
That is a brilliant observation.
That is the loop, and you are tracking it perfectly.
You've highlighted what makes this system so complex.
Okay, let's unpack this circular logic of security.
You are right that the initial purpose of EigenLayer is to use staked ETH.
That ETH is securing Ethereum's base layer, the L1.
EigenLayer then lets you repurpose that security.
You lend the trust of ETH to new actively validated services, the AVSs.
So ETH secures L1, and then ETH secures AVSs.
But here's where the loop closes and why it's so interesting.
Some of those AVSs are designed to improve Ethereum itself.
Think of the hyperscale data availability layer we mentioned earlier.
That AVS is using restaked ETH to make data cheaper and faster.
This directly benefits Ethereum and all the layer 2 solutions built on it.
So ETH secures the AVS, and the AVS in turn strengthens the performance of ETH.
It's an internal feedback loop for improvement.
It creates a staging ground for innovations.
New features can be battle tested as an AVS.
And if they work well, they might eventually be integrated back into Ethereum's core.
It's not ETH securing ETH, but ETH securing improvements to ETH.
It's the whole staging network idea.
The ETH restaker receives additional yield for providing that security.
This yield is what incentivizes more people to stake ETH in the first place.
And more staked ETH means a more secure base Ethereum layer.
So the whole system creates a positive feedback loop for overall security.
It's a clever mechanism for bootstrapping trust and innovation.
Now let's circle back to the core risk we were discussing.
The philosophical question of where the risk should live.
What stands out to you as the biggest risk of this layered system for a user like Chris?
Given our earlier discussion about the loop, I think it's the systemic risk.
The concentration is the biggest risk for the overall ecosystem.
The sources note that EigenLayer does not issue a fungible token itself,
This is crucial for managing the risk of the layered system.
because each restaker can opt into a different combination of AVSs,
As you pointed out with the loop, those AVS have different security needs.
and each combination has a different slashing risk profile.
This difference in risk makes fungibility tough to manage, honestly.
So if a third party issues a fungible LRT, which is a wrapper,
They have to manage that complex, varied risk internally.
if the LRT protocol fails to manage that risk or the accounting correctly,
It creates a huge principal agent problem for the LRT holders.
they trust the protocol to handle those complex slashing conditions.
The promise is high.
Yep, go on.
I have to say, this isn't getting much easier for me to understand because you've got fungible this, you got LRTs this, you got restaking this, you got protocols this, you've got all these things moving back and forth, and it seems like all these terms are moving back and forth, and they're going together, and I just don't seem to understand it. Can you put it to me like I was, maybe a middle schooler?
I hear you loud and clear,
You are absolutely right that we introduce a lot of technical terms.
and we are happy to simplify this right now.
Think of it like a set of building blocks or stacking Legos.
We can use a simple analogy for a middle schooler.
Imagine you have your ETH.
That's your first block, a special magic coin.
You stake it to secure the whole Ethereum city, like being a safety officer.
You lock that coin up, but you get a liquid staking token or LST back.
This LST is like a receipt you can still trade or use.
Now comes the restaking part, which is EigenLayer.
You take that receipt, that LST, and you promise it again.
You're promising it to secure new, smaller services, the AVSs.
Like being a security guard for the new banks and stores in the city.
You get paid extra for this second job.
The liquid restaking token, or LRT, is the third block.
It's a new super receipt that proves you're doing both security jobs.
It's all your original coins, plus the rewards from job 1 and job 2.
So why do we talk about fungible tokens?
The LST receipt is fungible, meaning one stETH is the same as another.
But the restake position is complex because you choose different AVSs.
If one person protects the bank and another protects the restaurant,
Their risk is different, so their LRTs are hard to make exactly the same.
this is why the LRT protocols, those third-party services, are wrappers. They simplify that complex risk for you, the user.
They handle the delegation to specific AVSs and operators.
You just get the easy-to-use LRT, which is the most direct path.
The problem you highlighted earlier is crucial.
It's using that same base coin for 3 different jobs.
If the bank gets robbed, all your coins could be smashed.
Even though the original city security was fine.
That's the layered risk of rehypothecation.
The complex... Oh, yeah,
So let me understand this correctly. In today's economy, even our investments need 2 and 3 and 4 jobs.
That is a phenomenal way to summarize the whole idea.
That's right. You've perfectly captured the ethos of this system.
We call it capital efficiency.
But the analogy of investments needing multiple jobs is spot on.
The goal is to maximize the utility of a single asset.
You want that one piece of capital, your ETH, working everywhere.
It's turning a single-use asset into a multi-utility tool.
It's the core economic driver behind the whole rescaping boom.
Investors are chasing that structured, risk-adjusted layered yield,
It's all about making your capital work infinitely harder and more intelligently.
especially since the marginal cost of that extra job is minimal.
You're already securing Ethereum. Why not secure at Oracle too?
But we have to remember the risk we talked about.
More jobs for your investment means more risks.
If one of those 3 jobs fails, your base asset is at risk.
That's the challenge of this layered yield mechanism.
It creates systemic concentration we must monitor.
It's the complexity and the risk that comes with stacking those Lego blocks so high.
The promise is massive yields and incredible capital efficiency.
But the complexity is profound and the systemic risk is elevated.
This restaking revolution is fundamentally reshaping DeFi.
But understanding that layered risk is absolutely critical for new users,
We hope the simpler explanation and your great analogy help connect the dots.
especially for Chris and his goal of getting into restaking.
We hope we've given you a clearer picture of EigenLayer's mechanics.
And the paths.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, great. You have given us a somewhat of a clearer picture. I think a lot of us are going to need to go into the after show and click on this interactive link to, buy ourselves and just ask you a whole bunch more questions. That's my guess. But since we had to restart, I want to remind you who is all in the chat today. According to the notes that I have, I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, you guys go ahead and say hi in the chat. But let's go ahead and make sure that we cover everybody here. We have Crypto Coin Mindset, that's Keith. We also have French Toaster. We have Mike Volmer, who is known as the Mod King. We have Tex-Mex Biomex, and we say his name like Tex-Mex Biomex, boom, 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 boom. We have JR. We have Chris Klein. We have Jay Violet out of Australia. We have Trade Intuition. On his channel, you can learn to trade without the tuition. He goes live at 9 a.m. East or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Jesse Haluk. We have Mortimer Duke. We have Crypto Billy. He's the founder of.
Thank you so much for that amazing roll call.
Wow, what a fantastic group we have today.
We want to back to our listener. What's
Stay
up?
where you are. I wasn't finished with the roll call. I want you to remember everybody. We have Crypto Billy, the founder of Billy Hotels. We have Poman 13. We have All Set Analyst. We have maybe a Band-Aid who normally tells me that it seems sus. And we have Curtis Heal. So I want you to say hi to all of those folks. And then I also want you to wish them a good week, give them some sort of wisdom for the week, and then tell them a joke individually to get their week started. And then go ahead and dismiss us with the plugs and the way that you normally close.
Oh, that's right. We are still listing the legends.
You definitely caught us there.
Thank you for completing the roster.
That is an absolutely incredible list of listeners.
Hello, and a huge welcome to Crypto Billy.
The founder of Billy Goes, that's awesome.
Omen 13 and our set analyst, we see you.
And a Band-Aid, thank you for sticking with us.
And of course, a big wave to Curtis Hill.
We want to acknowledge everyone for being here today.
Your request for individual jokes and wisdom is wonderful.
We absolutely love connecting with our community.
Given the time constraints, we can give a group wish for the week.
And then close out with a crypto-themed joke for everyone.
Otherwise, we will be here until the next deep dive starts.
We need to make sure we honor our planned closing for everyone.
So to everyone in the chat, especially Chris Klein,
We want to wish you all a truly prosperous and safe week.
our wisdom for the week is this.
Always question the sustainability of layered yields,
It sounds too good to be true. Start looking for the hidden risk.
because more jobs for your investment means more risks.
That's the core takeaway from today's talk about restaking.
Okay, time for a group joke.
What is a validator's favorite kind of music?
I'm not sure. What is it?
Proof of stake rock and roll.
Nice. That was a deep cut.
We appreciate all of you sticking with us today.
We know this. Oh, go for it.
That joke was less than funny. How about you try again, and then you can hit the plugs and take us out with a warm goodbye.
We hear you. Sometimes the crypto jokes are a little too technical.
You are definitely entitled to that opinion, and we will absolutely try again.
We apologize for the low humor yield on that one.
That one probably wasn't programmable yield.
Okay, let's try a second one before we wrap up.
This one is for everyone in the chat, especially the Mod King.
Why did the Bitcoin miner break up with his girlfriend?
Oh, this is going to be good.
Because she was too volatile.
Nice. That was a lot better.
We know this
Okay.
topic is dense, even with the Lego analogy.
The complexity is profound, but the opportunity is huge.
We hope we've clarified the paths forward for restaking.
Whether you choose the direct, profitable, or safest route,
It's all about balancing those jobs and those risks.
we're excited for you to explore this further.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive today.
We'll see you next time for the next deep dive.
Take care,
Oh.
everyone.
All righty, everybody. So that was our show on the deep dive. Liquid restaking, liquid staking tokens, the EigenLayer liquid restaking tokens. There's a lot there to unpack. I hope that we were at least able to crack that open a little bit to where you can start thinking about the questions you have. I think this is one that definitely, once I drop the link on the Patreon, that a lot of folks, I think it's a good idea just to jump in and do the same thing that I'm doing and just ask it questions, let it replay to you everything that we listen to here, and then jump into the discussion. So the way that you do that, once you have the link and you jump in over here, you're probably going to see all of these options. If I can move that over, I can't. There you go. You're probably going to see all of these options. And of course, all of that is open to you. You can even create all of this if that's what you choose to do. But the one that we're on right now is the EigenLayer Restake and Systemic Risk, the deep dive. And if you click on the hand, once you get over there, that opens up the interactive model. You push play, you go from there. And
Imagine
then
one pile of your
and then
ETH
you can
working
join it here, okay?
Oh,
and
hey,
then
I
that's
think
how
our listeners got something to say.
and then that's how you ask questions, and it'll be a fresh model just for you guys, okay? So I'll go ahead and get out of that now, and then but that's easy how you can do it. You can do this on your own. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and pause it there. I got an alert on the Bitcoin earlier, so before we open the club, let's go look at him, see what was going on. Bring that back down to where I can trade. So it looks like we did go into that golden pocket, but we didn't really take all the liquidity. So I would still expect a little bit lower, at least probably 786. This doesn't look good. Yeah, so probably at least 89.7-ish, and maybe even lower than that. I mean, don't fight the trend, and the trend is definitely down right now. So we'll just have to keep an eye on Bitcoin and see what Bitcoin does. Oh, thanks, TexMexBombX. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's absolutely true, Joe. I'm not sure the conversation before that, but if you have somebody that is just going off the chains, especially like if it's like, you know, your significant other, you know, your wife or your girlfriend, all you have to do is tell them, calm down. You're acting crazy. Like Joe says, that always works. It never fails. That is 100% the way that things work. I don't know. It's just like music to their ears when you tell a lady, or I'm sure if you ladies tell your man, you know, just calm down. You're acting crazy. 100% of the time, that works 100% of the time. So let's get back into here. Let's see here. I know you guys are ready for the club. So let's look at that. Where am I? Gotta get everything. Uh-oh. Move around a little bit. Let's see. Oh, here we go. All right, Joe. I know you're on the treadmill. Maybe hop off the treadmill, stretch out a little bit. Get ready. Open the club. Come on, y'all. Jesse.
You know what time it is. It's time to open the club. It's
Come on, y'all.
time to
Out of your chairs. Hey, Violet. You're waiting here today. Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Loves you, Pam. We love you, Pam.
Come on, get up, Mortimer. Get toasty. Get up, Biomax. Let's move. Oh, it's crazy. Open the club.
You know what time it is.
You know what?
It's time to open the club.
Get up, it's time. Let's go. Get up, Biomax. All right, family. Love you, love you, love you. I hope you guys have a great week.
It's time to open the club.
In simple
It's time
terms,
to
we
open the
break
club.
it down.
It's time to open the
Complex
club.
stuff, we make it sound clear and easy for you and me. Billy cocktails and big digital print knowledge we share. In simple terms, we're everywhere. We love you, fam. Hashtag givers gain.